Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, SaCola Lair. Welcome, everyone, to the final episode of 2023. That's right. I'm wrapping up this year, and I will be joining you all again in the Work It, Live It, Own It community in mid-January. I'm going to take a much-needed break to recharge, reflect, and refuel myself for 2024. So I hope everyone has a safe remainder of the year. But before I go, I want to talk to you and share with you a recent event that took place that inspired me in today's podcast. And it's about personal and professional growth. And let me tell you guys what a difference a year can make when you set an extraordinary goal. So today's episode is going to be truly special because I'm going to be diving into the incredible transformations that can happen in just 1 year when you set an extraordinary goal. And then I'm going to break it down by 8 things I've learned just by setting that extraordinary goal. So this episode is inspired by former clients of mine. I recently went to visit them to check in on them because they just celebrated their 1-year home anniversary. That's right, they've been in their home for 1 year and so many things have taken place. Not just in this past year, but just a year and a half alone. They got married, bought their first home together, have a newborn, and we were just sitting there talking about all the changes that happen and how fast they happen. But the reason why they happened the way they did was because, one, they remained steadfast, their faith was strong in what they believed, they were persistent, they were consistent. And even when there were setbacks, and trust me guys, there were some setbacks, they were able to accomplish so much. And I was so proud of them. And it brought tears to my eyes. And it got me to thinking, wow, what growth and changes have I made in this past year? And so I'm going to share those with you. And hopefully they will inspire you to knock 2024 out of the park. Now, let me just say this. With growth comes challenges, lessons learned, and extraordinary outcomes. It's a reminder that each of us has the capacity to create significant changes in our lives, given that we have the right mindset and dedication. And before I dive in any further, first of all, I want to express my gratitude to you guys for your ongoing support. If you have enjoyed the content that I've brought to you this year, I've done 29 episodes so far. This will be episode 30. Wow. It started out as a concept. It started out as a dream. And I thank you guys so much for sticking with me along with the growth. Because when you're starting out doing something, it's not going to be phenomenal. It's not going to be perfect. It will never be perfect. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying with me. And if any of this information has hit a button, resonated with you, and it's giving you the extra dose of inspiration that you need, will you do me a favor? Will you share it with someone else? Share this podcast with someone else who needs that extra dose of inspiration in their lives. So for 2023, I like to choose one extraordinary goal. And I've learned this process through coaching this year to choose one extraordinary goal. And I've had an issue with this, guys. I guess I can say I've been more of a realist. But when you think about it, though, I realized I was playing it small. And here's the wonderful thing about an extraordinary goal. It can be an extraordinary goal. Something so far out there that even if you don't make that goal, just the fact that you're being consistent and showing up to celebrate that goal or look at that goal and say, you know what, that's where I want to be, that's where I want to go, you can still make small changes. So let's buckle up for a journey through the power of goals, determination, and incredible difference a year can make. But now I got to be honest with you guys. I got to be completely transparent. I didn't reach my extraordinary goal this year. I didn't. But that's what makes it extraordinary, and it's okay. I didn't reach the goal. However, I learned so much, and I have achieved a lot more than I ever thought I could possibly imagine for myself because I believed. So number one of the things that this year has taught me, even though I didn't reach my goal, and let me just tell you this, guys, I know some of us, we have the lofty expectations, or we want to be a realist with our expectations, but this leads to number one of what I've learned is that I live to impress myself. I don't live to impress other people. I had to learn to stop seeking external validation or approval from others. You know why? Because all that does is bring about instant gratification. It's like social media. If you think about it, when you make a post on certain social media platforms, you're going to get that instantaneous reaction. You're going to get the hearts, the likes, the shares, the comments. And then on other social media platforms, they have what you call the long tail effect, where over time, over years, when people start seeing your content, and it could be a year from now, months from now, people will still tune in. And even if you don't get the likes, the comments, the shares as you thought you would, people still tune in. And I get so many people all the time that says, hey, I've really enjoyed your content. I listen to your podcast all the time. I don't know. I mean, I check the analytics, but man, if I'm constantly living to impress other people, what a miserable existence that would be. If I'm constantly seeking the approval and the validation of others, do I really have my own back? Something to think about. And so I no longer want to live for the approval of other people. That means you got to stop people pleasing. I know, and it's a hard road to go down. It is a road to recovery. It is a road to healing, and it takes time. It will not be instantaneous, guys. But if it doesn't fuel me, if it doesn't fulfill my soul or my purpose, then guess what? If it doesn't resonate with me, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to resonate with you. But if I don't have my own back and support myself, me trying to seek the support and approval of other people, and when they don't give it, that's disappointing. So make sure you always have your own back. Make sure you live to impress yourself, not other people. So that was number one. Number two is don't engage in gossip or complaining. Now, look, guys, gossip can go both ways. It could be positive or it can be negative. It doesn't matter. Gossip is gossip. But guess what? Gossip can also lead to complaining because we're talking about ourselves. We're talking about our lives. Oh, woe is me. This didn't happen the way I thought it was. And I think I even talked about this one time. Another business owner that I had spoke to last year net 6 figures in the first year and a half in their business. But in just 1 year, they net 6 figures. Do you know how many people on average, the average realtor may make $30,000 a year? This person did 6 figures. Then they said, oh, yeah, I didn't win the award. I'm so disappointed in myself. I was this amount of money short or this amount of whatever short. And so I'm hearing her and it's shifting my energy because I'm like, wow, I wish I was where she was when I first started out. So I flipped it and I said, okay, well, tell me, what did you enjoy about this year? Then they said, well, I was able to buy a car and pay cash for it. Or I was able to renovate my kitchen, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I said, and look at what you have accomplished. You've helped people pursue a dream, a lifetime dream, a dream of a lifetime. And yet you were able to do something for yourself and your family. How beautiful was that? So what I've learned is people who always tend to gossip and complain, that's not the type of energy that I want to be around. So I learned to focus on spending my time and energy on conversations that grow me, that help foster solutions, and that guide me to my dreams. And that includes complaining, guys. If you're going to talk about something, you're going to talk about a problem. And I even had to do this with a friend. They kept talking about how they couldn't pass this test, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. And finally, I got to the point I became exhausted just hearing their story. And I said, what have you done to change this story, this scenario? They thought about it and they haven't done anything. So I said, you know what? The next time you come to me to talk about the same topic, I want to hear the steps that you have done, that you have taken to change the narrative, the story. So if you are going to address a problem or give a problem, and we see that a lot at work when we have meetings, people want to talk about problems all day long. But if you don't have a solution or an idea to help implement or solve that problem, then we're just sitting around here gossiping and complaining all day long. So again, this is something that's going to take time. It's going to take work, but I'm working on it. That's number 2. Don't engage in gossip or complaining because it doesn't help your energy. It doesn't help you to grow. It doesn't help you guide yourself to your dreams. Number 3, look for the possibilities in the problems. I've learned to use my resources to help find solutions to work through problems. I have this wonderful, wonderful book, a children's book that I've read to a young cousin, my nephews. I even read this book to myself, guys, sometimes when I'm dealing with a problem. And it is a children's book. And so if you're looking for a great gift idea for children, even for yourself or for a friend, there's a whole series. I think there's 3 books in the series. But one of my favorite ones is written by Kobe Yamada. It is called What Do You Do with a Problem? I'm going to leave a link to that in my show notes. But it's a wonderful book, children's story about teaching children, teaching us how to deal with a problem. Do you run away from it? Do you shy from it? Is the problem really as big as you thought it was? So I've learned to use my resources. My resources can be 1, doing more journaling, doing more self-reflection, praying, seeking guidance, seeking help from those that I trust in my circle. And don't share problems again without doing the work ourselves. We got to put in the work, guys. Problems aren't always going to disappear. Now, I told you before in a previous podcast episode, I don't remember which one it was, but I think it was how to handle adversity. How do you handle adversity? So I would encourage you to check that episode out. It's a very short episode, but hear me out. I have a list. I make a list if I'm dealing with a problem. If I can't control it, for me, I say, okay, God, you got it. And then I focus on the one that I can. So look for the possibilities and problems. Number 4, live for my future, not my past. Ooh, this one takes effort. This takes effort every single day. Waking up, showing up, for my future self. My grandmother is 98 years old, guys. When and I hope that I can live a happy, healthy life like my grandmother has. If I make it that long in life, I want to look at my life and say, you know what? You did good, kid. You did real good. And one way I did that was, yes, set an extraordinary goal. What that goal could look like, if it's making a certain amount of money in your business, if it's creating more time, more balance in your life, more fun in your life, whatever. It could be the trip of a lifetime for you. You set that extraordinary goal each year and you work towards it. And if you don't nail it like I did, you don't nail your target, it's going to be okay, because like Les Brown said, if you shoot for the moon, even if you don't make it, at least you'll be among the stars. So keep working at it. Hold yourself. I'm holding myself in high regard when it comes to even how I dress, my words, my deeds, my actions, even my posture when I walk. I'm walking like my future self every single day, not my past self. I can't go back and change what I did in the past, but you know what? I can live for my future. Number 5, consume and create quality content. Ooh. I know we're in business. You want to increase your brand awareness, but guys, let me tell you something. What I've learned this year, I thrive on being centered and focused on thoughtful and intentional things in my life and business. The way I consume, what I listen to, what I watch, what I read, who I am around has to be of good quality. Because what we consume, what we take in with our eyes and our ears, can help you to become either more mindful in your actions, words, and deeds, even with what we share online, because it's going to come through. If we hang around negative people, guess what? We're going to become negative. So just be mindful of what you take in, your surroundings, the people you hang out with, even what you watch on TV, the music you listen to. So consuming and creating quality content is important for me. Number 6 is one that I struggled with for so long, and I still get nervous, but it's knowing that I belong in any room I enter. I've learned to show up anywhere, even when it's hard, because in becoming my future self requires me to be brave and uncomfortable at times. It even means asking myself, what would I do on the other side of fear? Even if other people may not think I belong in that space, that's not for them to decide. I decide I belong in that room. Who are you to tell me I don't? Number 7, be intentional. I've learned to show up in the world to add value, to provide support, not to hide, not to escape or procrastinate. And number 8, the final one, I've learned to celebrate progress, big and small. When I'm working with my clients, I tell them, hey, you just took a major step. This is not the end goal, but you took a major step today. So what I want you to do is I want you to celebrate. And it doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be going out, getting your favorite treat, your favorite drink, going to a park, walking in nature, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Take the time to do it. Celebrate the big and small. Because sometimes we're so focused on this big end game goal that we miss the small steps of progression along the way. And even if we don't reach that big goal, like the extraordinary goal, I can sit up here and tell you guys, I didn't reach it. Do I feel bad? No, because look at what I've been able to celebrate. That's growth, guys. The goal is to be 1% better than you were the day before. At least that. Be better than you were the day before. Now, My word of the year for this year was refresh. And in that process of refreshment, I learned that over money, some people call it magic or wonderment, I realized that time was the most valuable asset for me. And what has helped me is because going into the new year, every year, a lot of people set resolutions. And resolutions, we can set those lofty goals. And sometimes we set more than one resolution. We set specific goals. I'm going to go to gym. What's one thing you hear most people say? I'm going to work out. I'm going to lose weight. And those are great ideas. I'm going to start a business. Great. However, what happens usually around end of January? Some people even make it to March. We kind of teeter off on our resolutions, right? So what I've learned to do, and this was inspired by my accountability partner, was to choose one word of the year. And I'm going to give you another resource. This book is about 110, 15 pages, but it's called One Word That Will Change Your Life by John Gordon, Dan Britton, and Jimmy Page. It's a short read, but guys, listen, I know if you got busy, hectic schedules, if you are a parent, you got kids, or you're taking care of an older loved one, your time is very valuable and precious to you, and I want to be conscious of your time. They also have it on Audible, guys. You can listen to it. But the goal is, for the past 2 years, I have chosen one word of the year. And that one word, when I feel like I can't show up for my future self, when I can't, I'm not even going to say when I can't, when I feel like I can't. When I feel like I don't, or I just don't want to show up. That one word keeps me so focused and so motivated that I show up anyway. And a lot of times I'm one of those people that, okay, I've got this goal. Now I need the flow chart to help me figure everything out. I've learned also to be comfortable and trust the process. I may not know everything. I may not have everything ironed out, but what I do hope and pray for is that I can recognize it, that I will become aware of, hey, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I need to help me to stay on track. I need this to stay on track. This really is what I've been hoping and looking for. So those are the 8 things that I've learned. Even despite I didn't make my extraordinary goal, I have sought refreshment. I have gone on many vacations, guys, and my husband and I haven't even taken a vacation since pre-pandemic. Ooh, we were way overdue, guys. But in just 2 months, we were able to go on 2 mini weekend trips. And boy, how refreshing that was. I cleared my calendar. I was challenged to even clear my calendar. If it wasn't a doctor's appointment or a family event, I wiped everything out of my calendar because time was so important to me. So that book that I just read to you, One Word That Will Change Your Life, and the other resource, What Do You Do with the Problem? Guys, set one extraordinary goal and choose that one extraordinary word. And the book is going to share with you how you can choose your word and examples of how some of the authors or their family members have chosen their word. Sometimes it can hit you like a lightning bolt. Sometimes it can come from reading. Sometimes it could be while you're shampooing your hair. Whatever it may be. But choose a one word that inspires you to drive yourself forward. Thank you so much, guys, again, for tuning in this year. And again, if you know of anyone that can use a dose of inspiration, share it with them. If you've liked what you've listened so far this year, leave me a review. I appreciate it so much. And also in the comments below, let me know, how have you grown this year? All right. Until January of 2024, I'll see you then. Take care. And don't forget to work it, live it, own it, in your everyday lives. Take care.